session we're going to conduct a line balance. I'm going to show you an Excel sheet first of all that contains the work content that we're going to be working with. You can see here it's basically just a list of tasks, the time associated with each task, and whether it's value added or non-value added. We have about 170 tasks on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to import that directly into the process analysis module by selecting the Excel sheet. We have defined what we call a process map here down here, and the map is simply a definition that tells the program where in Excel to find the data. For instance, activity description is in column A, activity time column B, value added, non-value added time in column C. You can see that corresponds with the data we have here. Excel sheets can be very complicated and comprehensive. This screen here allows you to map just about any Excel layout that you may have. So what we're going to do is bring that selection over, click on the open, and it will let us pick what sheet we want to bring the data from. The sheet we have here is called work content, Excel sheet, and bring all the work content in. Now we can see the work content if we hit the right button here on the background and go to the grid. It's just a listing of all the data that we have in the sheet at this point. So what we're going to do is come out of this, click again, and we're going to do a balance. Now in line balancing you can balance one of three ways: by number of operators, by specific production per hour that you're looking for, or a certain takt time. Let's start with the operators first of all. Let's say we're looking for 14 operators. So we put in a 14 here. We click on the balance. It will find the highest utilization it can get, taking the elements in the sequence in which you're presenting it to them for 14 operators. We click on the detail. It will then show us how it's going to break the work content up. And click on the save, and it will create the 14 stations for us. We want to make them operators. Down at the bottom we can hit the right button on any of the task descriptions, say rename the tasks, check the operators, click on the OK, and now they'll all be called operators. At this point we can look at the work and decide whether we want to move anything around. To move any activities we simply click on it and move it from station to station. Right? The program is not going to move work content on its own. Right? It will take the work in the scene there. If we're happy with this balance, which would be very unlikely, you probably want to do some additional work, but then you can actually save it. You do a file, you can save as. You can save it to the native Timer Pro format, or we can save it to a user-defined Excel format. Just like you can describe the Excel sheets that the data comes from, you can describe the Excel sheets that the data goes to. So in this case, we're going to say it's a 14-man crew. And then click on the save, and all of the information that we have there will be written out to another Excel sheet called 14-man crew. It will show you what it's going to do to each of the operators, give you a summary over here. Again, this is all user definable. Nothing is hard-coded here. And here you see the details by individual operator. So we've got a 14-man crew here, and everything's looking good. Let's say now there's a change, and now you need some more throughput. Everything's going well, we have to increase the throughput. We can click here on the background, go to the balance again, and you'll see right now we're getting 58 units an hour. Let's say everything's going real well, we need to increase it to 78 units an hour. How many operators do we need? Well, we can click on the production and say we want to make 78 units per hour. Click on the balance, and here it tells us that we're going to get 20 operators. 20 operators will give us exactly the 78 units we're looking at. However, the system is telling us that these 20 operators are going to be 88.7% utilized. The same 20 operators can actually be 91% utilized and give us a little bit more inventory. Or we might even want to look back and see, well, 19 operators are only going to give us 75 units an hour. That's not enough. So let's say we decide that we're going to build some inventory. We're going to go with the higher utilization. We click on the details. It will then show us how it's going to break the work content out. And then we click on the save, and it will reorganize the work into that particular sequence. Now then you're going to say, well, certain tasks have to be performed together. At any point, we can, for instance, zoom in on a particular section here. We can highlight certain activities that may have to be performed together. Let's just say, for argument's sake, I'm hitting the right button on a chip. This activity, this activity, and this activity, and perhaps this one as well, have to be performed together. We can drag these around, we can move them, but if we move them, all four activities are going to move as a group. So we group those together. So let's say we move them, we'll leave them where they were when they started here. I can move sequences around, so if I decide to switch operators, I just drag and drop. I can then rename the tasks here, and that will renumber it for us. And when we're happy that we have everything we're after here, we can actually just save it out here and do another save. And this time we're going to save it as a user-defined Excel format, and we'll put 78 units an hour. Very quickly, you can do a number of different alternates here. Going to save, I'll put that away here. Now, and here you can see it with the 20 operators that we need to do that here, and describe in detail what's happening there. Now, if you remember, the data that was on the Excel sheet itself was flagged to indicate value-added and non-value-added work. How does that show up on our chart here? Well, I can click on the view here, I can click on value-added, non-value-added, and you can see the different colors that are here. Now, the colors are not fixed. You can define these any way that you want. You can see the different color charts and chips that you can have here. And obviously, the objective is to minimize or get rid of the non-value-added times. So it's very obvious where you might have some issues, where you might want to improve. And let's just say we decide we could maybe get rid of this one here if we do something here. So I'm going to delete that activity. I'll take this activity here, move it up here. Maybe move these around. This one here can go anywhere. It's a verify. We'll put it over here. And I'll take this last activity up here and move it there. Move this out of the way. Then we can get rid of one of the operators here. So we can delete that particular task. So now we've actually reduced the number of operators we need by one by reallocating the work content. This would be a fairly typical example of what you can do with the